Hey everybody, what is happening? Dela. I am back with the final installment of my MUT 16 Oakland Raiders offensive playbook. This is Shotgun Part 5, Episode 8. Finally getting to the end here. So we're in 19. This could be Shotgun number 19, which is tray open offset. The other one with the wide trap, 18 has the wide trap, 19 has the wide trap. Both I like. I like to put in my blockers in this set, though. The first play we're going to run is going to be a strong curl. We're going to put RB on a streak, motion him left, A's on a drag, and then we're going to block Y, block the running back. On occasion, if you want, you can also take that running back and put him on a swing. Those are the optional things you'll see me on occasion putting him on a swing. If I think there's gonna be a lot of pressure, maybe a blitz, I think he's gonna be like there. I think the edge is free. Come up, hey, make a guy or two miss, and those plays are always effective. That's why I like getting my running backs out in space, stuff like that. You never know when you're gonna hit on a play like that, So it's nice to have in there, for the fallbacks especially. So again, with the strong curl, RB streak motion left, A is a drag, and Y is block or swing left. What I'm really looking to take advantage of. I think that there's that outside route there, that X route, see him coming across, and then he breaks in. It's going to beat a decent amount of man and some of the zones. That's why I wanted to get the RB out there streaking out to take the top off of that so we can run underneath things. And there I'm just sitting down trying to find that zone in the middle. So a lot of that's going to be, of course, you got to be able to read the defense, read where they're going to be, kind of have an idea where he's going to break, and make sure you can hit those windows precisely. They're going to be open, but it's on you to read. You got to get your timing down. If you're throwing picks, it's normally on you. It's not necessarily the play development and stuff like that. So you just have to know when to hit that stuff. So But that normally when I'm trying to looking through plays, I'll find specific routes that kind of jump out and see if I can work with them or use them to build a play off of. Those are like the unique things I like to see out there. That's what draws me to a certain one. And so that one I find, again, when the X comes off, most of the time he's going to break away from the man. But again, I like any of the man coverage stuff. If you see the defender getting underneath you and he's got underneath leverage, don't throw that ball. It's going to get picked more than likely. That's where a lot of the interceptions come from, is when the coverage can get underneath you. Just keep that in mind at all times. Those are the ones you want to avoid throwing. So now, again, we're in shotgun 19. This could be number 2. This is a motion inside cross here. Pretty simple. All I'm doing is taking B on the outside, putting him on a streak. I basically need to take the top off, so we're going to want to make that A route right there a lot more effective by doing that. It's going to help out there. And you've already got, the running back swinging across, so if there's any underneath coverage, they're going to pull that way anyway. So this is going to create the most separation we can get for that corner route out there. On occasion, you might get free on this one. I believe on this next one to come into a nice cover 2 where they bump and let them go on the B. If you see that, then you can hit a nice little bullet out there to that receiver. Then also, otherwise, and of course, if you see cover 3 and he's one-on-one, you can always take a bomb on shot like that, as I said before. But for the most part, we're getting a good amount of work, good amount of looks on the A. He should be open a high percentage of the time. You're going to have Y, of course, as a drop back if need be. Even there, see, if you get tight coverage on it, you just that down and away pass lead in there, and you're going to have to do a click on it. That'll help in there. So you see, we're getting in a lot of areas. The other defenders normally are not going to turn and break on the ball in time for where you were throwing it there. So normally you can even catch it right behind them because of that. As he coming in again, getting a running back in space, making people miss, and you're gonna get the extra yards. So that's why we're not running power guys. We're running the elusive guys. I typically run the SR, speed run. To help with the blocking and elusiveness. I might look at something different just to mix it up this year. The defense have already switched over to run stuff, actually, just because I think at this point of the game, you're going to get a decent, more benefit from the hit sticking and stuff like that. I want the hit power, and they all apply to everything across the board. That's one of those that every player on the field benefits when you get the run stuffing ability in there. But it's nice that they have the 4 categories, so you're going to get block shedding for everybody, strength for everybody, tackle and hit power. So I think overall that one's actually really good. So now we're going to get into the next play here, the third one of this. This is a motion Z spot, and So I feel because the other one has motion in it, we need 2 motion plays, because otherwise they're really, once they see a guy motion, they're gonna know what to do. So let's at least put another one in to try to keep them guessing. So we're gonna put RB on a streak on this one. B is on a slant. Not too much we're doing here again, but as you can see, this time we're gonna be breaking left, mid and deep for the most part. That's going to work out pretty well. Of course, you're going to have the Y as a drop back. That B coming across, if you get instant heat, if you get fast heat, more than likely that B is going to be your hot read. That's what you're going to have to keep in mind if that blitz comes in, if you get the heat. Otherwise, if we got time, we're going to see if that A can work its way across there and catch a big chunk downfield, catch that open there. You might need a left pass lead, just depending on where you're throwing it. Sometimes you might throw it early, depending on what defensive formation they're in. So just keep an eye on the spacing in there. He lets me go right there. I feel I'll throw that after the bump. Again, I was an inside pass lead, and then we get extra yards after that. So. For the most part, you're going to be looking for that A. You're going to drop back down with B is your progression once you figure if A is covered, and then if you can hope nobody's sitting on the Y. Otherwise, those are your looks on that one. So always, again, this game, these plays, they're all about progression. Realizing when the guy's going to be covered, and then just moving to the next read. I give you the reads. You know how the timing of it's all you have to get down. Basically, knowing when to break from which receiver to the next with your eyes on the field. Let's see. So come across here one last time on this one was motion Z spot, RB streak, and B slant. This play is attacking more the middle of the field, and we're looking at like an A, B, Y as the breakdown for it. Between the two, they're both should be fairly effective. And something like this also, if they're playing a good man, just look which one he's going to float towards. You know what I mean? That's basically what you got to decide on. He's typically running in the middle of the field, so he's going to have someone's going to be open. If you got a guy patrolling the two, you should have it. There's a big enough gap between. There's enough separation in the receivers in these. So now the last one in 19. This is the FL dig. And this one, basically, we're going to take X. We're motioning X over to the right. We're putting Y on a wheel and RB's on a slant. And there we go. And I like to hit that route. I liked that one last year when I was able to motion that one in and run a streak off the inside of it. I don't have that in this formation. I'm sure that some do, and I'm sure it's a great play for that. But that was kind of what got me into wanting to run this. I was looking for something, but this still worked out in a method where I can get a lot of plays. There's a lot of reads on this one. You can go left side, right side. Obviously, you're going to have the tight end running that streak, that A seam streak right there off the bat. You're going to see that, and cover two's getting open quite a bit. As you can see, right there, boom. You're going to hit that one, a decent amount if they're going to run cover twos on you and so whatnot. You see her wide open again. We make a bad pass on it, but as you see that one, that's going to be open for that. The X, you got to have a little bit of time for that to develop. But if you're watching and you're used to seeing how many guys, if you got one guy over the top, you should be able to break underneath that one just fine. So if you got man or something, if you time it right, that'll take care of it. But you're also going to have that RB slanting underneath it. So, if you got tight man coverage on the X, you might want to drop your man coverage down to RB because he's going to be okay. Or also, you've got the option of wanting to take the wheel coming around it. If you don't want to block him, you always can block the Y. This is one of those, again, as I said earlier. You can put him on a swing right there like I just did. Whatever you want to do just to mess that one up. You can either make an extra weapon or you can get extra blocking to try and press this play down the field a little bit further, So they definitely pretty effective. You see right there, we've got a C route in there, but if you still can throw it when he breaks up, you can basically put that on a streak afterwards. So he comes in, once he goes in and up, you can hit that if you time that right, and he will stay on that line and catch that. So just keep that one in mind too. On some of those coverages, you can hit that quick hitter for 10, 15 yards easy. And again, see, we got that RB coming across. If there's too much action going on for that C, or sometimes it breaks to the point where the running back is already downfield when the C wants to break in, then I want to drop back. I always want to drop back to that B and keep it in mind. And again, that's your hot read. That RB, is your hot read also. If you hit a blitz or anything like that, there's heat coming in right there, boom, you want to hit that guy. And that's normally going to be the one that's going to save you in there from getting tackled. So come in now. What do we got? The 20 now, and we have now gone to the next formation, the final formation, empty tray. So we're going to have a bunch of guys out wide, of course. Again, you're going to have a little bit of number 4 receiver on this play is going to be helpful. So hopefully you've got a guy in there who can block, and it's also good for this. This is the smash. This is A is going to be on a streak, RB is motioning left, and X is on a streak. If you have time left over, you do whatever you want with B. let's have at it. You know, if you want to streak him, slant him, or drag him. I mean, more, you know, streak or drag to avoid the slant in that play. But what we're really looking at is that RB and Y there as the break. See, you can just you'll start running out a few. You'll get a read for you know, who's going to be open, and you know, sometimes you have to wait till just after they break to see it, but we're looking for that. RB right here typically is going to be an up pass lead right there. You know, you give that an up pass lead to make sure you don't lead it too far and throw an interception. So you've got the nice window right in front of you that will open up because you've got A on the right, so you've got a window between there and when A is to make that pass. So if you can't get it above, like I had a guy underneath there, that I'm going to have to let him cross and then go underneath the streaking A route. So you got a few options on that. If you've got time, you can let that RB break all the way across the field. But otherwise, you know, I've ran this around the 20 even with fairly decent success with even scoring with it. I wouldn't advise it too much because, again, you're going to run a guy to the middle of the field. So if you got a user out there, he may sit on that right there, that route. But you've also can put, as I say, if you have time, you can put that B on a drag underneath too if need be. If you're worried about that, you have a fallback then in that case, you know. But other than that, just get an eye for these fields, these post, cross, you know, flag, you know, routes basically, you know, and then just get used to that break, and that's going to make this play pretty much successful for you if you can read that and get a feel for that. You know, if you can, you know, this one takes a little bit of time if you're not running that B underneath also. So no, you've only got 5. So if you see a heavy blitz coming, you might have to make an audible out of that, or you know, drag, slant somebody a little bit closer. Just keep it, you know, like B, put B on the drag and be ready to throw that just so you have the hot route. But otherwise, you know, these other two, if I'm pressing the ball, then that's what it's going to look like with the B on the streak, because then you've got, you know, another ability to put on you know, a jump ball if need be, basically. Number 20 again here, empty trade. Number 20, strong flood. Here we go, 3 plays left. Strong flood. We're going to put A on a streak. X is on a slant. Y is going to motion to the right. This is just a flood play, typical one of our flood plays, trying to open the field up with the A receiver and bring a couple guys underneath, like the X there. Sorry, he's the Y. I always do that when they change it. The Y and the X, basically. Y is going to be the first one you're looking to, though. And you can see when he gets around the corner, if no one's chased him there, if you got a guy, good elusiveness, and you know, he basically could turn that up the field also. You want that agility to be pretty good, so that way you can turn that up the field. Or just a beast like this guy and just refuse to go down, too. You know, did you eat your Wheaties today, I guess. So, but for the most part, you know, it's good to have a few of these. You're not going for huge yard. The X can get you a decent amount late, you know, if things break down, but your whole, you know, as far as the, you know, your routes aren't looking good, but you have your blocking's okay and you've rolled out to the right, then you can sometimes take advantage of that X route depending on where, especially if the user has left that middle of the field and he's chasing, you know, your Y or your, you know, A or something like that matter. But other than that, you know, you can run these, you can flip these if you want, but we've also got enough plays that, you know, will have this manner go in the other direction. You know, 18's got a curl flat that goes the other way. So there's certain things you have that can break down that way. So I think there's, you know, you flip if you want, like I say, but you also don't need if you're going to be mixing around. It just depends on if you want to stay in one formation or not, basically, you know. If you don't want to jump around the book too much, then that's the way you're going to have to run it. But I see coming around, and if you have a decent speed on your quarterback, that's going to be a play where if you feel like taking off, you can get some yards on it also. It's set up well enough to run out and roll out and still make plays, so you basically have another one. And I was just seeing if the guy was going to break. Sometimes they break up the field, but at that time he started to and then he stopped, so anyway, whatever. You can't count on stuff like that, obviously, in the game. So, and now we're going to go, again, 20. This is under seams. RB is going to be on a slant. A is going to motion left. And X is going to be on a streak. And here we go. So we're going to watch A off the bat. I mean, this is all dependent on whether or not this guy's going to get open, and then RB is underneath him. I'm really only looking at the 2 on this. So it's a two-player read. A is going to take a lot of these left pass leads. Do what I can to keep them in bounds. You know, this is a good play to run. If the further right on your on the hash marks you are, the better. Because we need a lot of room if you want to try and turn the play up. Otherwise, you'll have enough room to catch the ball and go out of bounds a lot. Otherwise, you know, if it's hot, so with your momentum will still carry you out of bounds. You see there. So, then we're a little bit off center of the right here. So that just so you know, it's one of the beneficial things. There's that window right there. You will be able to hit that quite a bit also off the line. You know, and So it's just to keep in mind, get a feel for that, get a feel. You got to make sure again that corner, that nickel corner, is not in a spot where he can float underneath you though and intercept that pass. Obviously, if he's sitting in that zone right there, he can't jump that undercut. So then you don't need to force that ball into that spot. You'll have that RB trailing you. You just try and look back. Don't wait too long, because otherwise he'll get to the coverage zone. So he typically want right around the middle of the field, like right around there, a little bit sooner maybe sometimes. If you can get to that B, you can turn that upfield if you get to it soon enough. So that's kind of fall back there, but you get used to reading that again. So it's a little bit easier because you only have to worry about 2 people. But the A has that nice big play potential. Sometimes he'll get lost in coverage with the other 2 guys, and sometimes if you've got 2 of them there, you kind of have to fall back to the RB. Otherwise, you're just forcing the ball into sometimes triple coverage, because if they're too close, the other defenders that are guarding the other receivers can jump off and try and intercept the pass. So just keep in mind, like right in there, if I throw it in the wrong timing there, there's just too many guys who will be awareness. They'll jump on it. So, but a lot of the times here, you'll be able to catch a nice zone, nice area. If you can get underneath and cross underneath those guys, even better. You have a lot better chance of nobody jumping that pass and interruption there. But again, that's a pretty decent one there. And that one's moving to the left. It was RB slant, A motion left, and X was on a streak. Now we're going to get to the final play. This is the double slot cross out of number 20, empty tray. A is going to be on a streak, and X is motioning right. Not too much going on there. That's fairly simple. You're going to have A coming off. There's your seam, your tight end seam. We got that. We always like those. We'll check that one first, because this was one our easy. This one we know how these work. We have a handful of these the last couple years. This one's nice because the X runs a deeper route. The angle, that's why we motion him in. He runs a nice deeper route there. He comes in and then he comes across. So you can get a good chunk actually if that X ends up coming unguarded off the line. So when we look at this, we're going to look at the A off the line, look at the X right about that cut point, and then if he's not open, we'll have to try to kick down to Y. But that's what we're looking. If we can catch that A off the line, as soon as we know A is not open, I turn my eyes to the X. I watch that break he's going to take and see what I can do with it. Most of the time, that's where I want to throw the ball. That's where the play is going to be most effective for big yardage. But there's coverage dependent. So again, we always take the first thing that's given to us, and which would start off being that A. You can see I got bumped in there. Now I knew I had time. I can let that develop and look at how that's an easy play to get a lot of yards if you have a guy who's not putting a lot of heat on you. Obviously, so you've got 5 guys rushing, so that again, to keep in mind, your RB and Ys are coming off of drags in case you're getting a lot of heat off the get-go. RB is going to be the easy look, either X to the RB if you're guessing heat, something like that, so but if not, again, like I say, catching these, we're bringing those streaks over the top and running the X underneath there on a nice angle. So unless he's really chasing that hard on the user, that play again should be pretty dang effective. And if so, you're gonna have to drop back down to the Y more than likely underneath. So thanks for guys checking this out. I hope this playbook's been useful. Thank you.